Hello, beautiful being. Welcome to In Your Dreams and welcome to your reading. I am so grateful that you're taking time to tune in to see what messages are flowing in from Spirit for you. Ashe. Thank you, Divine. You're a lover and a fighter. You're both. You're both fire and water. It's something about that. It's about your passion, but also your purity of heart. It's about your creative energy, but also your ability to connect. There's somebody or some group that tried to make you think that you had to choose between your water and your fire energy. But you're both. In fact, you're all the elements: earth, air, fire, water, and spirit. You don't have to pick and choose. Okay. Ashe. Thank you, Spirit. I'm hearing somebody say, calm down. Calm down. Like somebody was trying to shush you or get you to be quiet, or they were trying to silence you, but you weren't enraged. You were passionate. And I'm getting that if there was anger there, it was righteous anger. You had a reason to be angry, but somebody didn't want to see your anger because it awakened their guilt. Well, maybe they had something to feel guilty about. But I'm getting that your passion was very much aligned with the divine. But somebody wanted to shush you. They wanted to quiet you. Okay, we've got leadership and taking risks. Gateway and openness. Yeah. Anything else, Spirit? I really like this. Okay, we'll take these. So with leadership and taking risks, there's something that is very different about you. And you're supposed to be different. You're supposed to take risks. You're supposed to bring something different to the space that you're in. You're not meant to look like everybody else. But you know, it can be tough to be different. Okay? Because sometimes it feels easier just to be like everybody else, to do what everybody else is doing, and then that way you don't ruffle any feathers. That way you don't stir anything up. Everybody already knows what to expect when they come to see what you create or when they come to see you. It's like the difference between leading in a way and creating in a way where you can nicely and neatly fit into a box and be safe, or you can do what you're really here to do. Okay? Being you and taking risks opens a gateway to, look at you. Look at that unicorn. You're here to be different. It opens up a portal to expansion that cannot be contained, right? So there's no limit to what you're able to do because you're willing to live outside of that category that's been created for you. You're not meant to fit into any box or into any category. You're not meant to be labeled. So there are people who judge that sometimes, right? They want to judge you because they want you in a category. And they'll criticize and say, well, you should only be doing this type of work. because we're comfortable with that. Or you should only be in this state of mind when you create. You should only be in this element because that's what fits for us. And it's like, hell no. Absolutely not. You're open to whatever lies ahead for you. You're open to your true self. You're open to your intuitive nature, which has no limits. As within, so without. As above, so below. You are the universe. So, do we know all that's out there in the cosmos? No. And so, we will continue to discover all of the beauty inside of you. It's like one thing after another, one thing after another. You will never stop being amazing. And yeah, when people experience your creations, they might not know what they're going to get. But if they're open-minded, they can rest assured that they will get exactly what the divine has aligned for them to experience when they connect with your creations. If they're closed-minded, then they're not going to get it. And guess what? It's just not for them. You know? All right, you've got community here, courage, patience, protection, and focus. Yeah, there's a community that's waiting for your creations, and it will require courage for you to step up and do what you're meant to do, because nobody truly knows what they're going to get from you. It's like the most divine secret, the most divine surprise. You might be a creator. This could be in any aspect of life, your creations, your career life, even to some extent your relationships, you know. There are things that are constantly unfolding for you that always feel like a divine surprise because you're getting to know yourself. There are so many layers to you. There are so many different aspects of you that you have yet to discover. And when you combine all of the different elements, the aspects, the character traits, the creative gifts that you have, the combinations are endless. So, yeah. Patience is required with your process because you're constantly getting to know yourself. Whatever you do, just don't put yourself in a box. That's what I'm hearing. Don't put yourself in a box, and don't allow destructive criticism to sink in. If somebody has some hatred to spew towards you, well, that's their problem. And it says everything about themselves, nothing about you. If anything, it actually says something very good about you if you want the honest truth, because people who are courageous and unique and who are patient enough on their journey to allow their truth to unfold, they're the ones who tend to upset people the most. But the people that they upset are the ones who are here to keep things in the old way, to keep things old and rigid, and to keep funky traditions that have no place in our present world. That's what they want to keep going. They like the boxes, and they want everybody to fit into a box so that they can be comfortable when they talk about people. You know, how are they going to judge you? How are they going to label you? How are they going to talk about you behind your back if they can't even figure out who you are? That's the dilemma for them. So really, you doing your divine work and being your unique self, you're making it very hard for people who want to categorize you and shrink you and minimize who you are. They can't do it, so they get angry. Well, let them be. Let them be angry. You're protected, and these are divine forces that protect you with this lightning here. You're protected by nature. Mother Earth protects you. Your ancestors protect you with this tree here. Also, you're protected in the darkness and in the light. Okay? You're a balance of the day and the night. Your focus is exactly where it needs to be, beautiful being. That looks like a leopard or a cheetah. I think a leopard, yeah. You are able to withstand the harsh forces that you experience on your journey. I know it doesn't feel good. You know, like you think about this leopard, they're out there in the cold and it's snowing and they probably need to eat and, you know, they got to take care of themselves and everything. But this leopard is equipped with everything they need for these harsh conditions. Also, reminder that it won't be snowing all the time. It won't be cold all the time. There will be times that are much more comfortable, much more serene and peaceful. But when the conditions are harsh, just know that you have what you need. Okay? Those harsh conditions have been helping you to build your endurance. Thank you, Spirit. What's coming through here? They want Wild Mystic first, and then we'll go to the archetype. Confidence, yeah. You have the confidence to be you and to be exactly who you're meant to be. Thank you, Spirit. What's coming through for this beautiful being? Yeah. Believing in you. Believing in your protection. Believing that no matter what kind of traps have been set for you, you're protected as you create and as you are your unique self. Okay, instinct. There's something that's moving rapidly here, quickly, because we've got the rabbit and this is a fox. Kind of looks like a fox slash wolf, but more like a fox to me. But there's something about quick changes here. And you'll need to listen to yourself. That's what's been being developed, is your ability to listen to yourself, to know what to do based on what your body is telling you. It's pretty easy, and I'm picking up on this, that it's easy for you to detect what your body is telling you because you know, you're aware if you feel nauseous or if you're feeling sweaty or whatever. You know, when something around you isn't right, you detect what your body is telling you. But do you trust it? Do you trust what your body, what your instincts are telling you? Do you have confidence in your instincts? And are you believing what they're telling you? Okay, I can tell you right now that this is a heads up from Spirit because there's something that's coming. And this reading is coming through because Divine wants you to be so willing to follow your instinct that you don't second guess yourself. Your confidence and your instincts is so important, and your willingness to believe what your body is telling you. So incredibly important. Why is this, Spirit? Look, we've got heal and patience. That's the second patience card that came out. There's something that someone wanted you to change about yourself as you were healing. So you've been on a healing journey, but there's somebody, and I keep seeing a group of people that wanted you to change something about yourself. They wanted you to feel like you had to fit in with this chameleon here and the heal card. They didn't want you to have the patience to take the time that you needed to develop your own unique voice. 1444 on the timer, to develop your own unique way, your own unique style. They wanted you to feel so pressured by, now there I am getting the vibe of a smear campaign. There could have been people talking behind your back, and you know, usually what they do is they'll talk some behind your back, but also in your face as well, so that you can pick up on what they're doing. They wanted you uncomfortable. They wanted you to know that they were judging you. Because they wanted you just uncomfortable enough so that on your healing journey, you would waver, you would falter. And instead of moving forward, you would start taking steps backwards to try to listen to what they were saying and focus on them, to focus on those harsh conditions that they were trying to create, so that you would try to fit in as you were healing. It's like a group of people that did not want you to be your unique self. That's like their worst fear. Okay, this is deep. This one was still on the table. Poet. Okay, so you could be a poet. I definitely get strong creative energy from you, and also either spoken word or written word. There's something about you and words. You have a beautiful relationship with art or with words or with music. Okay? Something that you create. Also, for some of you, it's something with your hands that you create. Okay? But yeah, expresses soul insights in symbolic language. Also, you're a child of nature, okay? So you're one with nature. You may have found healing in the elements from the time that you were young. Okay, if you went through something very difficult, or even with this experience with this group, which it could have been, you know, this can be past, present, future, but whenever it was that you experienced this difficulty with this group, you may have found like a sanctuary in nature. You may have found peace. Your home is with nature, okay? But somebody wanted you to be an addict. They wanted you to push away your own true nature in order to align with what they wanted for you. You have a very divine purpose here on this earth, with the Messiah card coming through. And there's somebody who wanted to get in the way of your calling. They wanted to get into your calling. Okay, so this could have been some sort of destiny swap thing, where they wanted your destiny. Okay. Yeah, there's somebody who was trying to manufacture a vision for you. They wanted to create a path for you. Somebody wanted to be the architect or the engineer of your world, of the plan for your life. But yet here you are as a visionary. You know, you have no limits. You're who you are. You already came through as a unicorn. You're unique. You're rare. But they wanted you in a box. This is somebody who wanted to take away, oh yeah, you're coming through as an artist. Look at that. But somebody wanted financial control of your art, of whatever it is that you create. They didn't want you to reap the abundant energy of your art, and it's not just money. Because when you are here on this earth with a mission to create something, when you are in alignment with that purpose, with that calling, and you create what you're meant to create, 1919 on the timer, and you're shining the way that you're meant to, you reap the most beautiful, succulent abundance ever. It's juicy abundance. And it's fulfilling because you're doing your soul's work. But somebody wanted to get in the way of that. What is this, spirit? What is this energy here? I keep getting the energy of a child. So this could have been something that happened during your childhood regarding a house or a home, Or it could be regarding a social situation or some sort of, it's like there's delight that you're meant to experience in this realm, but somebody wanted your flowers. The flowers that are meant for you to get. The congratulations. I'm hearing, now they always say congratulations. So there's somebody who had their eyes on your rewards. They didn't want to be there to support you, but they certainly wanted to be there to get the flowers that they knew you were always going to get. Okay? Yeah, son, because I saw 1919 on the timer. There's something about you being in the spotlight, but somebody wanted to create a mountain for you. Okay? Yeah, you're lucky. You have natural luck and abundance. So this is goddess energy coming through. Somebody wanted to throw clouds at your abundant energy, your empress energy, your creative energy. They wanted to put clouds all around it. But what you're meant to experience is this. Now, what would life be with sunshine all the time, right? Okay, you're meant to experience it. Right, well, that's, yeah. We are meant to experience both clouds and sun, right? But this is your natural vibe right here. But somebody wanted to do this. But see, what was coming through was that even though they wanted to put clouds into your situation on your path, it's like you were still doing your soul's work. You never stopped. Even if you paused, you took that as a time to learn, to rest. I'm getting that even if you paused, you still were not losing your momentum. And that's very important, because some people stop. They don't pause, they stop, and they just give up. You never gave up. You may have paused, but you never lost your momentum. You were still resting and getting into the groove of what you're meant to do. Okay? Divine, can I get, they said the crows. Okay, can I get some clarity? Give us some clarity, Spirit, on this energy that was thrown at this beautiful being or presented. This cloudy energy. Okay, we've got 6 of Cups. So this could be somebody from your past that was doing this. A Knight of Wands. It could have been a fiery energy. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Doesn't have to be any of those signs. But that's the energy that they embody, where they came in aggressively towards a Hierophant. Because that's the energy that they wanted to reap, was your Hierophant energy. It's like you have respect. Whatever it is that you do, you're highly respected. And there are people who honor you. I saw that with the bouquet card. They're like people who give you flowers. If not literally, that's how they feel about you. When people experience the energy of your creations, they want to give you flowers. Okay? That's you standing up there as the Hierophant, and there are people who honor you. There are people who want to learn from you, and they're meant to learn from you. This Knight of Wands, please clarify this energy, Spirit. This Knight of Wands, yeah, it's the devil. They're in the devil energy. They seek to control. They're very aggressive. Okay? This is somebody from your past. This is a past life energy. And when they came in to meet you in this lifetime, or to work with you, for some of you, because they may have presented themselves as wanting to work with you or wanting to interact with you somehow, they knew who you were. They knew that you were a Hierophant. There's something about this person who had looked into your destiny. They had looked into your purpose, your path. They came in to do what they did. What is it that they did, Spirit? Okay, Chariot and 5 of Wands. Yeah, they came in to bring conflict. There could be Cancerian energy here. But they were very driven to come into your life. They had researched you already. I'm seeing like with the Chariot, you know, like the Chariot can be a car. It's like somebody was on a road trip. And you know, on a road trip you have your books and things like that to entertain you if you're not driving, right? But they were like doing research as they were coming to you. They were preparing to come into your life, to bring conflict, to bring chaos. This 5 of Wands. They came in to fight you for your spot. That's what I'm hearing. They were meditating on this. It's like they're, it's just plotting energy. So on one hand, I'm seeing this here as them in this meditative state in the 4 of Swords, but also I'm seeing you here resting, okay? And then they're out here gathering intel. It's like this person was really trying to come into your world, to knock something over, to do some damage. King of Swords. They could have been working with the King of Swords. Someone who comes across very collected, very astute, very knowledgeable. I'm getting like a know-it-all type of energy. Someone who claims to know it all. Could be an air sign, but it doesn't have to be. Aquarius, Libra, Gemini. It doesn't have to be those signs. There's somebody who was hoping to hitch a ride to a more peaceful place with the 6 of Swords here. They wanted to steal your peace, I'm hearing. Is there anything you can tell us more, Spirit, about this past life connection? Why they came to the Divine Collective? Okay, because they have been caged in a 9 of Swords. Anxious, unable to sleep. It's like on a soul level, on a spiritual level, they're not able to rest. And so they came to you to siphon energy. What's the energy now, Spirit? Okay, we've got Page of Cups on the fence. There is somebody, and okay, so this is connecting with a dream that came through for the collective. There is an energy of someone wanting to come in with an apology, okay, with the Page of Cups on the fence. So somebody is trying to decide, how am I going to come in to the collective? Because this is the thing. I'm getting that this person has been taken out of your world, out of your realm, because of the work that you do. But they always want to come in. So because you're elevated, because you are strong spiritually, you have elevated to a level where they can't reach you, okay? But they're always trying. Why? Because without you, karmically, they are here. 9 of Swords. But you chose to cut cords. And so now they're here. You're in the 6 of Swords, okay? Moving on to calm waters, but they want to hitch a ride with you. So that's why they're on the fence about an apology, trying to come in with some love bombing and some, oh yeah, with the Empress. Somebody wants to present themselves in Empress energy. They want to present themselves as fruitful and abundant, like they're a match for you. This person already sees you producing fruit. You're fruitful. I'm hearing you're fruitful and you multiply. So there's something in your world that just keeps getting better and better. And they see that. So they feel like they can't come to you, they can't even approach you unless they present themselves in a similar manner. So what came through in my dream is that this person wants to approach you with an apology, but they're planning it, right? Because they know that you don't want to have anything to do with them because you have boundaries and you have healthy, strong boundaries. So they want to, first of all, blame whatever it was that they tried to steal, take away from you, siphon from you. They want to blame that on other people, okay? So whoever their accomplices were, whoever their flying monkeys were, they're now the people that they want to basically energetically bury in the dirt, because they don't care how they present them now. It's all their fault now, you know? No honor among thieves, right? So they want to sell out the people that they were trying to talk badly about to you or about you. And they want to use them now as the people who drag them into all of this. All of a sudden, it's going to be everybody else's fault, okay? The second thing that they want to do is present themselves as having been so enamored with you. Oh, your energy is just so beautiful, and I didn't know how to handle it because I've never met anyone like that. And I told myself they could not be that wonderful. And I just thought that you were going to be rude or that you weren't going to accept me, and it hurt me. You know, it's going to be a whole theatrical show in their mind. In their mind. I'm not saying that this is going to manifest, but this is what this person is trying. They're definitely trying to come in with an apology, but from an entirely different angle, where they are the victim. But instead of blaming things on you because they know that you're too smart to buy that even for a minute, they want to blame things on their flying monkeys, on their accomplices, the people that they were plotting and planning against you with. And they want to come in, that's why this Empress card came out, because they want to come in saying that they were so taken aback by your abundance and your gifts and your creative energy, and they had never seen anything like that, and they just thought it must have been fake. It couldn't have been real. Yeah. Yeah. Now, some of that is true. The truth is that they saw your creative energy. They saw how amazing you are. They saw how rare and unique you are. But they always knew that you were going to manifest something wonderful. They never once thought that you were actually in the devil energy that they always were in. They were trying to swap their energy with yours and paint a picture of you being like them and them being like you. That's the difference. They always knew that they were wrong. Okay, so I would be very leery. I feel like most of you are like, I'm not entertaining any kind of reunion or apology or anything like that, which honestly, this type of energy is the kind that you close the door on and seal it tight. Okay, that's what's coming through, but you have to discern for yourself what's right for you. But it feels like that's what they're planning. Okay, so just be aware of that, because this kind of energy can be very tricky. Yeah, aiding and abetting. So there's something about people working in the shadows together. This could be one person that's trying to come in to apologize, but they're really still linked to a whole bunch of the flying monkeys that they're saying that they're no longer associated with. They're still with them. Yeah, they're crashing and burning. Judgment has been called on these energies, and that is why they're so desperate. Okay, encrypted, exactly. They're not coming forward with truth. Okay? It's something that's very much like slimy, shady, hidden. Okay? They're not being honest at all. This is someone who's looking for any sign of you being even cautiously optimistic of a reunion with them. So if there were ever a time to really make sure that your boundaries are firm, it would be now. Because they are looking for any sort of glimmer in your eye that might even look like you want to open your energy up to them. They're just watching. Okay? You're extremely resourceful. So with your creative endeavors, you are doing exactly what you're here to do. You have taken all of this energy and allowed it to open you up to the possibilities within yourself. At some point on this journey, you stopped trying to open up to these narcissistic individuals that had been plotting and planning, and you said, okay, there's nothing that produces fruit from that. You saw that that was not a fruitful journey, a fruitful path. And even though you were like that leopard who's very resourceful in those harsh conditions, you were like, I don't always want to live in the harsh cold. I want to create a place for me that's lovely and that is what I deserve. Okay? You deserve to create in a space where you are focused on the beauty within you, not where you're focused on fighting against the harsh conditions. Okay? Yeah, you're extremely resourceful. And because of that, you are growing in abundance. You've done intense shadow work and you are being rewarded for that, beautiful being. There's something about the work that you've done. It can never, like, it's always going to benefit you because you've done it. You know? It's kind of like when people talk about making a mistake, what's done is done. Well, it works on the other hand as well. When you heal, you will always have that healing work. You will always have that growth that you benefit from, okay? So there's someone who is starving for attention. And like I said, that's how I saw them in my mind's eye. Just sitting there waiting, trying to see if there's any sort of glimmer of hope, any room for them in your life. And it's not about living in an uncomfortable state like, oh, I don't want them back in. I don't want them. Just by you focusing on what you're meant to focus on, your joy, your peace, and your creativity, you're naturally going to be affirming your boundaries. Okay? Also, now you're aware of things that perhaps weren't on your radar before. And so that is a huge source of protection as well. Yeah, Control, Alt, Delete. Every time you create what you're here to create, you're deleting whatever kind of threat is trying to loom and hang around and find its way back into your world. Yeah, Control, Alt, Delete. Also, it's like a fresh restart for you. It's an energy of renewal and abundance. Thank you, Spirit. This energy was intense. And I feel like, yeah, you've got support from your spirit allies. But I feel like in this earthly realm, you also have support. I mean, the bouquet card came through, and that's like getting your flowers. Congratulations. There is a group of people or soul tribe that is so grateful for you, for your unique energy, because they need that. Okay, there are other beings out there that are unique as well, that don't fit into a box, that will never ever succumb to the heavy evil forces that were trying to render you powerless. Okay? Because we have to remember that what we experience, other people are experiencing as well. And so there's something about your creative energy that speaks to people who have been through this, who have experienced these oppressive, demonic forces, and you're in a state now where you're no longer afraid. If you ever were, you are rising above fear like nobody's business. And it's so beautiful. It is a miracle. And so there are people that see that. And so they're receiving support as they're watching you because they're inspired by you. Yeah. Nurturing yourself. Nurturing whoever it is around you that you love. Whether it's a familiar, a child, a divine lover, a divine friend, someone within your soul tribe. And nurturing yourself is so beautiful as well. Taking time to just be. And to, something is coming through, like when you create something, take time to just reflect on it, gaze at it, look at it, okay? Be a fan of what you create. Yeah. This is an important part of your creative process, to be a fan of what you create. And that gives you hope for the next creation. Admire the things that come from you, because it was meant to come from you. 4141 on the timer. Yeah. All right, and I want to close with the Sacred Symbols deck. Oh, that was in there from, was it the last? Okay, yeah, we got, of course, jealousy. When is that not there? Look, these were from a recent reading, but I love how they're right there. Expect powerful change regarding someone around you that's been giving you the evil eye. I keep feeling that energy. It's like, and you've got good fortune coming to you. This is just your vibe. Like, you can't run away from your good fortune. It's inside you. So you'll always experience good fortune as long as you are doing what you're here to do, and you're loving yourself and accepting your truth, honoring your truth. Yeah, there is a shift happening. And you know what's happening in this shift? In this shift, you are embracing your uniqueness. And there's nobody around you who can convince you that your uniqueness is not a gift. There's nobody who's ever going to be able to make you think that you're on the wrong path, or that you're not supposed to be here doing what you're supposed to be doing. It's like this sure vibe. You're so sure. And you deserve that. You know that it's facts that you are here to do your soul's work. This is just knowledge. It's written. It is your destined path. And you're grounded in that. You're firmly grounded in the knowledge of who you are. Nobody can tell you who you are and who you're not, because you hear that directly from the divine. You hear that from your divine ancestors and your spirit allies. You hear that from your higher self. So any of these beings who are jealous and sitting around with animosity, who are constantly in the Nine of Swords looking for a come up from you, they can't tell you a damn thing about who you are. Point blank, period. Thank you, Spirit, for these messages. I am so grateful that you allow them to come through me. And thank you, beautiful being, for taking the time to tune in. I'm so thankful. Thank you for every like, every kind comment, every share, subscribe, donation. I am so thankful. And I love you. I wish you peace. I wish you joy. And so many blessings. Take care.